Okay, let's do this. So Hairline sent me something in the DM, in the DM. And okay, let's crack this open. So this is the source is Fightful. Shout out Fightful. I think at Fightful, just at Fightful, fightful.com. And someone called Pro Wrestling and MMA News on Facebook, I believe this is, posted the Brian Kendrick confirms that he was brought in by WWE to help train Bad Bunny for WWE Backlash. On the latest edition of Hitting the Turnbuckle Podcast, shout out Hitting the Turnbuckle Podcast, Brian Kendrick stopped by and confirmed he was brought back to help train Bunny for the match at Backlash simply because of the fact that he had helped Bunny during his first WWE match at WrestleMania 37. It was for the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest match. The company brought me in, but it was because a few years back when they had their tag match, I worked with them. I think because of the comfort level we had built with Bunny and I, they requested me to come back for that. Kendrick went on to note that he thinks both Bunny and Logan Paul are very motivated and both want to be good at wrestling. And he puts over Bunny for doing a lot of training with him. And he thought that this match was awesome. Shouts out fucking Brian Kendrick. And I'm actually not surprised by this because he also helped train Ronda Rousey a little bit. They sent her to his school with Natty to fucking get it in. And TJ Kidd. Shout out fucking him. TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd. Shout him out, by the way. Well, shout out Brian Kendrick. It's sort of sad that he fucking... Didn't he get like sort of canceled? Like he was supposed to go to AEW wrestle Mox, and then they canceled him because he, a bunch of years ago, was simply discussing conspiracy theories on some fucking conspiracy theory podcast.
I hate when non-wrestling stuff affects wrestling,
especially when it's something as dumb as conspiracies. Like, bro, can we just admit that they're fun to talk about? And like, okay, like it doesn't mean that because he believes someone did some fucked up shit, it doesn't mean he believes in this fucked up shit or that he condones some other shit unrelated to the fucked up shit. Like, I just don't get why we keep doing this to people. God damn. I know. Anyways.
So, it's okay to, cry about your hotel kicking you out on Twitter, but it's not okay to talk about Flat Earth on Twitter? I don't know, man. I guess that should be...
So Hairline's bringing up some Jericho, Karen Jericho. He's just constantly.
Listen, if the shoe fits, whatever. Did I say Jericho?
I mean, brother. So, we were just off pod laughing at a clip about from the Cornette podcast where him and Brian Last go over a few tweets of Chris Jericho complaining. And if you follow Jericho on Twitter, you've seen this. Don't cap. If you're on Twitter, you've seen this. And he complains, he takes to Twitter and, he's always saying staff are assaulting him and being rude to him. And it's the old adage we were just laughing about, okay, if you run into an asshole one day, that guy's an asshole. If you run into assholes every day, you're the asshole, it's the old saying. Right. So Hairline was just referring to that, but I don't know, man. I think Brian Kendrick's dope.
Man.
He was, him and London back in the day were just such a great tag team. And I don't know, dude. I don't know. This is what I believe. People can believe the earth is flat 10 years ago and then not think that today, especially when they're in their 20s. And when you're in your teens, you say and think a lot of dumb, stupid fucking shit. Again, Hairline, we're talking off pod about when people hit their 30s, you see them change so much, especially women. We were just saying off pod, you see change in people so much, things just, you start to kind of figure things out and wake up a little bit. At least, I don't know. And we're without getting into the weeds.
Yeah, man. And another side example here, like we were talking on last week's pod with the Briscoes and whatnot,
Yeah,
the shit that Jay said, he was young and dumb.
It's just, dude.
But I don't know, man. Brian Kendrick, fucking thinking the world is flat has nothing. It doesn't take away from him training Bad Bunny and making Bad Bunny one of the most expensive wrestling celebrities of all time.
Right. Even if he thought the world is flat, let's say he does.
Right. Who cares?
Who gives a fuck? Who cares about that? what makes you care about him coming out with "I'm the man with the plan" and just coming out in a fucking dope leather jacket and doing cool moves and
Right.
bulldog choking guys? What does that have to do with anything?
Well,
AJ Styles thinks the fucking world's flat, I think. What does that have to do with him
well,
coming in and hitting dudes with phenomenal forearms and being one of the greatest, the Shawn Michaels of this era,
well,
of this?
it's because
Yeah.
these neckbeards do anything to like cherry pick and discredit people in any way, shape, or form, you know? So it's just like, oh, Brian Kendrick made a good point, but now I can fucking negate that because he thinks the world's flat, you know? I don't
Right.
know, man.
So
Yeah.
they brought him in and they bring him in a lot, and kudos to WWE. Good for Kendrick. And yeah, man, that's good shit. And I love to hear these stories. I love to hear
Right.
stories. We did a short on our channel about how WWE brought Chris Daniels in to fucking get John Cena ready for the big show. You know what I mean? So
Shout out Chris
he's